Netflix is perhaps one of the most well-known streaming platforms in history. Ever since it was first established in 1997, it developed from providing a mere service of online movie rentals to a much more subscription system, hitting 209 million subscribers in over 190 countries. With that being said, Netflix streams a variety of entertainment content, which includes TV shows, movies, anime series, documentaries, and many more, which is why people love the platform. The diversity of content allows Netflix enthusiasts to explore different genres and interests, and it really helps them whenever they have leisure time. This huge popularity also allows the platform to even produce its own set of series, and I think we are all familiar with at least some of them. Stranger Things and Money Heist are a classic favorite. Be that as it may, Netflix faces its own set of challenges and problems. For instance, the platform was banned by prominent service providers in Indonesia, such as Telkomsel and Wi-Fi ID, for 4 years between 2016 and 2020 because it was deemed unethical for portraying a lot of inappropriate content, and one of which is the constant depiction of sex. This is going to be the main focus of this video. It has come to several people's attention that Netflix is somewhat obsessed with portraying sex. Some of their originals, notably 13 Reasons Why, Sex Education, and How to Get Away with Murder, really emphasize the idea of it. It is as if every episode needs to contain a sex scene or at least a makeout scene. Furthermore, sex is really highlighted in these originals' plot. One of the reasons why Hannah Baker in 13 Reasons Why decided to attempt suicide was because of the sexual life she was involved in, whereas Sex Education indirectly aims to destigmatize sex by always talking about it in every episode. People wonder why sex is very important in the eyes of Netflix and question what is their purpose of constantly depicting such a controversial topic. In other words, we are not going to delve deeper into the benefits, but also concerns about Netflix's questionable move. There are actually several advantages that might explain why Netflix includes countless portrayals of sex in their originals. The first one is associated with the concept of pro-social sexuality messages, or PSM, that is taken from this journal article. PSM pertains to socially desirable messages that could benefit other people or society at large, especially when it comes to the idea of sex. With this in mind, Netflix originals are actually targeted towards adolescents, since these youth-oriented series inform their audience about sexual scripts or guidelines for sexually normative, appropriate, and desirable behavior during sexual situations. Being open and communicative about sexuality allows them to be more resilient to negative sexual experiences and understand that sex is not a taboo or controversial topic to discuss, as it is part of society. Furthermore, the second advantage, still related to PSM, suggests that Netflix's portrayal of sex could challenge heterosexual norms and stereotypes. Not only does the platform now include an equal representation of men and women, but results also point out that Netflix is going towards greater sexual equality between these two genders. This is actually particularly beneficial for women. The actresses that illustrate pro-social sexual behaviors are able to exemplify that a woman's journey of accepting their own sexuality and taking part in sexual socializations should not be looked down upon. Moreover, these Netflix series challenges heteronormativity by reflecting a proportion of non-heterosexual characters. The exposure of the platform's audiences to a diversity of sexual orientations could reduce prejudice against homosexual individuals, as Netflix ultimately assists them in normalizing these underrepresented groups' existence by constantly depicting them through their series and shows. On the other hand though, such a depiction really has its own risks that may others, especially parents, feel concerned about. To be precise, although Netflix does not necessarily portray pornography content in their originals, a lot of them are actually somewhat associated to it. According to the Australian Institute of Family Studies, nearly half of youngsters between the age of 9 and 16 experience regular exposure to sexual images, and Netflix isn't really doing much to prevent the statistics from increasing. Such an exposure is really detrimental to a child's mental health, since they are introduced to the idea of sex without properly educated, ultimately making them to follow toxic stereotypes about gender, sexism, sexual objectification, and violent supportive attitudes. Moreover, remember when I mentioned that Netflix originals are considered as youth-oriented series? This identification is a little bit ironic. Euphoria is one of the most well-known Netflix series that now has 2 seasons, and although the plot depicts the characters in a high school environment, there's just so much sex because the actors are not actual high school students. They are adults in their 20s and 30s. By including a lot of adult actors in an adolescent environment, the audience that the platform or Netflix targets might receive the message that sex is the culture in high school, and anyone who is not a virgin will be able to enter the adulthood phase where the actors are right now. With that being said, teenagers between the age of 13 and 18 may somehow feel the urge to have sex while still being uneducated and unaware about its concerns and risks. After exploring all of these subtopics in this video, I would like to say that there are always two sides in a story. Netflix's portrayal of a controversial topic both consists of its own benefits and concerns, and people can either agree or disagree with it. What do you guys think about this issue? I personally think that Netflix needs to change some things in regards to their regulations when portraying and illustrating sex, such as hiring actual adolescents who are well educated in the field of sex, put more focus on the parental guidance, and even try to make their originals more educative in order to avoid being deemed inappropriate. And with that, this is Aldrin Akbar Darmawan from the Entertainment Media class, and I thank you for listening.